Most people like to unwind for a few weeks a year with a relaxing vacation. But for the rich and famous, vacations are a status symbol. Today, we're looking at the world's most expensive vacation. In case you happened to win the lottery recently, you may want to check out White Desert Luxury Retreats located in Antarctica. For only 24 hours, this vacation will set you back an amazing $195,000. This luxury pad is only accessible by a private jet, which takes off from Cape Town, South Africa. Before departure, guests can enjoy local South African food and wine. They will also go through an extended safety training to deal with the harsh weather and natural hazards of Antarctica. The 5-hour flight is simply stunning, as guests soar above thousands of untouched icebergs. After landing on Antarctica, the action really begins. This remote voyage features 8 hours of exploration with a professional guide. View stunning wildlife, towering glaciers, and barren rock outcroppings in a part of the world virtually no one gets to visit. If you are physically fit, you can climb to the top of a Nunatak, an Inuit word for ice mountain. From a distance, you can see the jaw-dropping Wolf's Fang Peak on the northern horizon. If you're not up for a hike, simply hop in a propeller plane and view the icy mountain ranges from above. After the scenic flight, choose between a 4x4 excursion and a mountain bike ride. Careen through groomed trails and encounter snow-capped peaks and wild animals. After your long travel day, kick back and enjoy a meal cooked by an award-winning chef, complete with wine pairings. Lunch includes an open-air picnic and cocktails made from melted 1,000-year-old glacial ice. Although temperatures can dip to -76 degrees Fahrenheit, guests will be warm and comfortable in heat-trapping dome rooms called luxury retreats. From the outside, these tents look stark and utilitarian, but the interiors are decorated with fine furnishings, and each room is equipped with central heating and ensuite washrooms, replete with warm showers. There's a dining tent for communal dinners and a luxury lounge where you can relax with a warm drink and a book. Another area called Witchaway Camp is sited on natural freshwater lakes and features 6 heated polar pods and a library. If you have more time, consider the Early Emperor's Tour, which requires 5 days to complete. From base camp, guests will fly 2 hours to the nesting site of 6,000 emperor penguins and their newly hatched babies. This is a photographer's dream come true because the penguins are unafraid of humans and will approach tourists with curiosity. Back at camp, guests can explore a complex maze of ice tunnels constructed from seasonal meltwater. They can also take advantage of on-site rock climbing and ice climbing to heights of over 100 feet. If you're willing to tack on another 3 days and $83,000 per person, you can fly more than 7 hours to reach the geographic South Pole. Few people have the opportunity to stand at this extreme point of the world. Normally, this privilege is reserved for researchers and scientists, but for a pretty penny, you can join them. For real mountaineers, you can do a 6-day excursion to scale an unclimbed summit. Antarctica is one of the few places on Earth home to mountains that no humans have ever climbed. Guides will drive you to the middle of an untouched glacier, where you'll spend the night. Do be aware that the sun is up for 24 hours a day, so you need a blackout tent to get sufficient rest. The next morning, guests wake to climb to the summit of an Antarctic mountain where no human has stood before. White Desert realizes that climate change is a threat to their business model, as melting glaciers and rising temperatures make the surface of Antarctica unrecognizable. That's why the company has been carbon neutral since 2007. To counteract the emissions from jets and other destructive practices, White Desert invests in renewable energy projects around the world. According to the company, they have offset more than 4,370 tons of carbon dioxide since 2007. They also use a pack-it-in, pack-it-out philosophy on their camps, meaning they remove all trash so that the surrounding nature remains serene. They claim to remove 8 tons of waste from Antarctica every year, of which 7 tons is recycled back on mainland South Africa. The company plans to totally phase out single-use plastics by 2021. White Desert also understands the value of environmentally friendly supply chain. All soaps, detergents, and cleaning agents are biodegradable. In addition, they partnered with a company called Arctica Solar to make the first of their kind solar air heaters to warm their luxury pods. As if that wasn't enough, White Desert is pioneering a new sustainable aviation fuel with lower emissions. They are starting with a test quantity of 40,000 litres. According to CEO Patrick Woodhead, we do so much to minimise our impact in Antarctica, from building specially designed camps to removing all waste each season. But the one area we couldn't reduce was the fuel we were burning in our planes. All we could do was offset. With the advent of SAF fuels, suddenly all this has changed, and we're delighted to invest in what is undoubtedly the future of aviation. The fuel also produces fewer particulates and sulfur oxides, therefore greatly reducing the quantity of soot particles emitted. This is particularly significant in Antarctica, as the black colour of the soot absorbs the heat of the sun, exacerbating snowmelt. The White Desert Camp is truly a one-of-a-kind vacation experience, but the second most expensive vacation on Earth is also pretty amazing. An underwater hotel called Lover's Deep off the coast of St. Lucia will set you back $175,000 a night. The Lux submarine is intended to be a romantic getaway for a couple. You'll have the entire hotel to yourselves, with the exception of a captain, private chef and butler. Look out your windows and search for octopus, fish or sharks as the submarine travels deep below the waves. The open-plan interior features a minibar, king-sized bed and spacious relaxation area. The entire living space is soundproof so that lovers have total privacy. Honeymooners who choose to take to the depths below will also enjoy a complimentary gourmet aphrodisiac tasting menu of oysters, caviar and chocolate fondant tinted subtly with the taste of pomegranate. Of course, there are perks to having a private submarine and a captain at your service. Guests can moor the submarine around the Caribbean and take a pair of private speedboats wherever they please. You can snorkel, scuba dive, or simply lounge on an idyllic white sand beach. There is no limit to your stay, except if you happen to run out of money, which can happen quickly when you're paying almost $200,000 per night. If neither Antarctic expeditions or submarine voyages are for you, consider TCS World Travel's Ultimate Tour Experience. The company is one of the first names in luxury travel, and their itineraries take guests around the globe in a matter of days. The company retrofitted a private Boeing 757 jet to accommodate 48 guests and currently flies to dozens of destinations around the world. A sample itinerary would travel through London, Turkey, India, Maldives, Madagascar, South Africa, Botswana and Zambia in 24 days. If you're interested, the trip costs more than $140,000 per person. Considering how many destinations you get to visit, this may actually be the best bang for your buck. Along the way, guests can stay in the finest hotels money can buy, like the Rosewood London, an Edwardian mansion with a luxurious spa. You will also visit numerous wildlife parks and world wonders like Victoria Falls. For instance, guests can visit the Mashatu Game Reserve, which is comprised of 72,000 acres of privately owned land in the conserved wilderness area known as the Northern Tule Game Reserve. The reserve lies in the eastern extremity of Botswana, where the Great Limpopo and Shashe rivers converge. Set out on expert-led game drives under vast open skies in an area known for its big predator cats, as well as elephants and giraffes. In case there are any medical issues on board, TCS provides an on-call physician and free healthcare to all guests. There are 10 long-haul international flights in total, and the price includes all meals, alcohol, and tips. Although it's not technically available yet, Axios Space will eventually offer the world's most expensive vacation. For a mouth-watering $50 million, guests can spend 10 days on a space station floating 250 miles above the Earth. To stay in the space hotel, guests need to undergo 15 weeks of intensive training. If all goes as planned, the first trip will commence in 2022, and the record for the most expensive vacation will be shattered. The age of space tourism is starting with a bang.